that, the GM of the hotel is on the show today, Mr. Mark Creasy.
Hello.
And our sales coordinator, Spencer Foley.
Hey there.
You know, a client that books at another hotel may have to find a caterer. They may have to find a florist. They're not going to have included planners. You're going to have to find that planning team, or it's going to have to be somebody internal. We do all that for you. It's wrapped up together.
And some of them are dedicated planners that know what they're doing, and some people are just coming in. They're the HR professional. They're an assistant. We don't really know what to do. We just know that we need this space. And so be able to give them that peace of mind that, hey, we got this. You don't have to worry about it. It'll all be taken care of. Really helps.
So, you know, we made the decision back then to move to the all-inclusive model. I think it's one of the best things we did. In fact, a lot of venues follow suit now, and that's kind of industry standard now.
And we set that.
We did.
I took a lot of flack for that back in the day.
The people reaching out to me, one of the things that instantly sets us apart is not only that it's an all-inclusive turnkey experience, but it's all provided in-house. There are other venues that provide all-inclusive packages, but this vendor, they're still using an outside subcontractor.
Everybody loves the experience, and anybody that knows anything about the Treehouse Masters, it truly is a piece of art.
If I can get people in the door, it sells itself.
Sure does. Exactly right. To go get some ice cream.
Yes. And it's so exciting to be a part of.
It'd be amazing.
It really is. It's one of the biggest things I think we've learned.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you being here. We hope you're having a wonderful day. But without further ado, grab your favorite cup of coffee, pull up a cozy seat, and join us right here on Around the Table with Vickie. I'm your co-host, Chris Runk, and across the table from me, as always, is my mother, your host, Vickie Runk.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. It has certainly been hot here in Central Virginia, and I think for the better part of the Eastern Seaboard. So I hope you're staying cool as well.
But, Mom, without further ado, we're going to jump into today's show. We have two special gentlemen joining us today. We're going to talk all things weddings, events, hotels, Entwined Events, Bella Vista Hotel. And to do that, the GM of the hotel is on the show today, Mr. Mark Creasy.
Hello.
And our sales coordinator, Spencer Foley.
Hey there.
It's going to be fun to talk this through. And what better time to talk about it, guys, than we're coming into the middle of the summer already. Can you even believe that? And we really start to gear up with hospitality events coming into August and really strong through the fall and winding it down with lots of Christmas parties. So we thought it might be fun to get on and let everybody hear your all's personality, who they contact whenever they need to make an event, and how special our programs are with how we have it, kind of wound together. That's why we call it Entwined Events, with the different venue options and now the hotel rooms, and that you can do room blocks in if you're having guests in, and then also our wonderful, beautiful ballroom space with 3 what we call salons, which are basically smaller rooms that we can either take the door openings away and create another larger space, or they can have individual breakout rooms, which so many companies are looking for. But before we get into all the specifics, Mark, why don't you tell everybody about your background, how long you've been with us, and then we'll split right over to Spencer and let him do the same.
Yeah, so I joined Entwined Events 8 years ago. It's kind of hard to believe it's been that long. Of course, I've been in hospitality for 20 years, which I know this face doesn't look like that, but it has been. So before that, I did events at a large academic platform and then the Republican Party of Virginia, and then into this, which was my first dive into the wedding industry. Got my feet wet there, and I've loved it ever since being with you guys. It's been incredible just watching our growth, and from the wedding venues to now the hotel, golf courses. I mean, there's just so much that we can entwine together to kind of make your event happen. So
I like how you do
You
it.
like that? You like that? Yeah, that's good.
Well, yeah, I've been in events my whole life. I grew up in events. I'm from South Florida, and my mom ran a large corporate event planning company that ran a lot of recreation, entertainment type events for these large companies. So I grew up on weekends, weekdays, helping her out. So it's been a part of my life. Then I moved up here to Lynchburg area and started working with Mark, and that's where I got to learn a different side of events, the finer end, the higher end, and got to learn a lot from Mark. And then I branched off to my own and ran my own event planning company all around Virginia, ran a lot of large corporate events, large recreation events, team builders, different things like that. And then I joined you guys in October of this last year, and it's been an awesome time since.
That's awesome. I was getting ready to say it's been almost a year.
Yep, almost.
It seems like it's been longer because you came right in and meshed with our team so wonderfully. Mark, I have a quick question, a fun question. So if Bella Vista was a person, what kind of personality would she have?
We often compare the venues to like Disney characters because they're relatable to everybody, I feel like. So I feel like, if you're looking at it from that perspective, Cinderella's castle on the inside, you've got all the gold and the Vickie blue that we love to call it, but that pale blue, and then the crystal chandeliers, those big, they've been there since the hotel was built 30 years ago when it was a Hilton.
And we did preserve those. We had the choice to get rid of them and do updates, but I love to create spaces to where we can keep some history of the building, whatever it is we're designing. I felt like the chandeliers needed to stay. So those are cool.
Yeah, you had the maintenance team and our cleaning team, they actually dropped them out of the ceiling. We cleaned them thoroughly, steamed all the crystal, hung back up, and they're just, everyone comments on them.
Yeah,
so
we have beautiful medallions around them, which have a little hint of pink in them.
Yeah, the big mirrors on the side wall that just reflect light, because there's no windows. You don't want windows in a ballroom, obviously, so you can control things, but those kind of give you that that illusion or that feel. And so that space, it seats 280, but it feels a lot bigger than that, especially if you're doing an event in there. But it really does have that Cinderella's castle.
But yet it's not too feminine that men, because Spencer, I know you have a lot of groups. You do a lot of the business bookings there. So talk to us a little bit about how even men are enjoying that space.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I feel the biggest marketing for us is just getting people in the door. If I can get people in the door, it sells itself. And that's the number one thing I hear. I just had a tour yesterday with a group that constantly has done their events at other hotels, and in the past had done it at the Kirkley. And they came in and they just could not believe what it looked like, and instantly were on board and ready to book their event. And without much pushing from me or anything like that, just showing them the space, they instantly came in and loved it. And I think it's because we combine the great aesthetic, but it's also very functional. All the AVs built in for the setup and tear down. It's very easy. We can do a bunch of different configurations. And so I think that's the main thing that they're looking for, is they want a space that looks good, but is practical for them. And I think that's what the space ultimately provides, is the best of both worlds.
Right. And me being the designer, there's nothing I love more than to hear all these great compliments from people. Of course, you can't please everybody with the same style. Some people love it and some people no. But I'm loving that the majority of the people are loving what we've done. And there's been a lot of, Mark, you were with me when we tore that hotel apart and then put it back together. And there's been a lot of intentional thought. Christopher, I know you did the sound system. Spencer was just alluding to that. Maybe you want to capitalize on that a bit?
Oh yeah, we took the time to really listen to what clients were wanting when they came into that space. We kind of thought, how can we maximize the usage of that space? Not only can we sit close to 300 in the ballroom and be a giant open space, but we can also close it down with air walls and create 3 different spots in there that an event can all be happening at the exact same time. And we, right across the hallway, we have breakout salons. So we have 6 individual spaces that all have AV, TV, plug-in with one simple cord. You're up and going. So a client isn't having to think about, am I going to have to bring in a projector? Am I going to have a whole PA system and worry about microphones and lav systems? All that is there at a one-stop shop. And I think it's amazing because I can be in there and set up and ready to go in 5 minutes.
Well, it's good for a client because they take, a smaller event that normally wouldn't have access to that. It's very quick for them to then plug in and be able to project on a screen, dim the lights and everything, whereas they may not have had that type of presentation style anywhere else. So
or even be thinking about it. A lot of times clients don't know what they don't know, right? And you show them and they're like,
just to have it available.
And that elevates their event even more.
Correct.
Right. I think when you're a company and Spencer, you can talk a little bit about this as well. And you're wanting to hold an event, you want your guests to feel comfortable. You want them to have an experience. And I think those spaces really create that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I think that we are able to bring a unique perspective on. You have people and planners that come in, and some of them are dedicated planners that know what they're doing. And some people are just coming in, they're the HR professional, they're an assistant, and they're like, we don't really know what to do. We just know that we need this space. And so to be able to make it easy for them and just, hey, tell us the details of what you're looking for. We'll take care of the rest and you don't have to worry about it. It really makes it easy because I can tell you for the business side, more often than not, it is people that have never put on these events or just asked, hey, can you help me put this on, are the ones coming to talk to us. And so to be able to give them that peace of mind that, hey, we got this. You don't have to worry about it. It'll all be taken care of. Really helps.
And we're seeing that we're getting a lot of repeat business too, which let us know that they've kind of found a home there. They're going to keep coming back year after year, which is it's excellent, not just for us, but we are in the city of Lynchburg. So it's great for city council for their taxes and all the things that we have to have for the city to run, which we've all heard about in the news here lately. So we're happy to help the city out with some of their taxes. And before we go any further in the show, let's just remind all of our listeners today that we're on the set of Around the Table with Vickie, and we're talking to two gentlemen that do a lot of our bookings and hosting of Bella Vista Hotel and conference centers and West Manor and Bella Rose and all of our golf that we do events in our golf
let's take a second
too.
and kind of define what Entwined Events are.
Yeah.
It is for folks that may not know, like what venues make up Entwined Events.
Yeah. So Entwined Events is Bella Vista Hotel, obviously right there in Candler's Mountain. We're Bella Rose on Graves Mill. People pass by that, especially people in Lynchburg. They know it for the lights over the ceremony site.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have West Manor, which is out in Forest, kind of tucked away. We call that our equestrian style estate. It's beautiful. You know, we've got Ivy Hill Golf Course that we do events on there. And then, you know, Bedford Columns, which is going through a renovation right now. But all of those venues are what make up Entwined. But more than that, it's really the planning team,
The services.
you know, the services, our own in-house floral team, our own in-house catering group that's run through Tory Blue, which is at the hotel. So I think that's what Entwined is. It really is its name. We've brought all the services together where, you know, a client that books at another hotel may have to find a caterer. They may have to find a florist. They're not going to have included planners. You're going to have to find that planning team, or it's going to have to be somebody internal. We do all that for you. It's wrapped up together.
And even if you book an event at West Manor or Bella Rose, we have the opportunity, especially for outside guests, to block these room blocks right there in the hotel. And we do still have a swimming pool in the hotel, which the kids love, and adults as well. But there's some fun things. We can create a package, Spencer, of people that are coming in. What can my guests do while I'm planning my wedding or getting ready to, you know, say our I-dos? Well, we can plan a golf outing at our golf courses. And we don't just have one golf course, we have two. And the other one's only 40 miles down the road. So we can create a whole day of golf and include your box lunches and all the wonderful things that we can include together.
Go ahead and put that down. If I ever do get married, which that's debatable at this point, we got to, but put me down for my bachelor's trip to be at Ivy Hill Golf Club, because I want to go out and play golf the morning of my wedding.
Absolutely. I think that's what it definitely should be. I played golf the morning of my wedding, and I highly suggest it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
The bride does it, but the groom certainly love it.
Yeah.
Mark, tell me a little bit about what your day looks like at the hotel. I know you started off very early, and I hear a lot of the fun stories. So kind of walk me through your day.
Yeah, I mean, we start early in the morning. Of course, guests are checking out and everything. Our biggest time, you know, for checkout, breakfast, all that stuff happens. Then we go into, you know, our daily functional stuff, you know, cleaning the hotels, flipping rooms, working with Cheryl Thomas, that's been there since it was the Hilton, and I love having
so cool.
her.
She's been there from day one. 40 years.
40 plus years, yeah.
I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah, and
she knows everybody that comes through the door.
Absolutely.
Literally.
She does.
And it's great to just glean from her knowledge, but we run down our day of what groups are coming in, what guests are coming in, you know, what groups are having an event in the ballroom that our front desk agents need to direct people to. What's happening in Tory Blue, our connected restaurant. You know, there's a barn room space there that we use for events as well. It's totally separate from the ballroom. So, you know, is it a rehearsal dinner that's going on there? You know, is that rehearsal dinner? Are those guests staying on site with us? How many rooms is that? You know, so we go through that, then we'll pitch into our weekend and everything and kind of see where we're going. And then the rest of my day is spent, you know, helping your sister Caitlin oversee Entwined Events, you know, from the planning team, you know, meeting with Spencer about, you know, sales initiatives and that sort of thing. So It's always a full day. We never know. I think that's the great thing about hospitality is you never know what's going to hit you that day. It could be super quiet, or
And it's
you
not
know, you could have three
unusual for
fires.
us to get a call from an organization that says, I need to
A
bring the
space.
governor in
Right.
or bring in a special
Yeah,
speaker
yeah,
from Liberty or whatever and we just make it happen. We just turn our hat around and make everything happen for everybody, which is really a part of the expertise that we have on our team.
Yeah, and it's great with that. Exactly. With our team, you know, I mean, we hosted, you know, the royalty from Africa this past year. We've hosted, you know, singers and all sorts of guests that Liberty has, other colleges have, from academia to sports to whatever it is. And our team is so discreet and they're so good at interacting. I mean, we get compliments all the time about our front desk agents and what they do for people. And so I can firmly say in the city of Lynchburg, you won't find a more hospitable group of people than the ones at Bella Vista Hotel.
Spencer, kind of walk me through what a tour process from the initial inquiry into our website or a phone call to getting them there that day on site. Kind of walk me through that, how that works.
Yeah, it's very different for both weddings and corporate and other community events. Weddings, when they reach out, it is just a sense of excitement. Oh my gosh, we just got engaged. I love this venue. I love the look of it. They're looking at West Manor. It's, I love the glass atrium. That instantly caught my eye. If they see Bella Rose, it's, the ceremony site is gorgeous and the history is amazing. And so that's something that we want to capitalize on quickly, get them in the space so they can use that excitement and just be there and be in the experience. And so that one, as a full wedding package that we sell, I'm going over a lot of information as we're going through and telling them, hey, this is what we're going to provide for you here. This is what we're going to provide for you here.
What's so cool about that is you immerse them in the environment. You touched on that just a minute ago, but I think we need to really capitalize on that as well. When you're in West Manor, in the environment on that 37-acre tract, and you can look out to your right or left, and there's some horses grazing usually, and we can't guarantee they'll be at the wedding, but sometimes they show up.
Absolutely.
Which make for beautiful bridal pictures. We don't own them. We just let them graze. And then, you know, the immersion of Bella Rose, it literally, you just go back in history. You go back in time, and that bride is able to imagine with you, and you're creating an experience. And I know that you've talked about how that's even personally touched you with relationships with these people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the tours for me more just feel like talking to people. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm in the room selling. As someone with a planning background, it just feels like we're talking through what we can provide, what this room is like. When you're in the wedding that day in this room, what does it look like? What are we providing? So as I'm going through space to space, room to room, I'm telling them in that space, what are we doing for you? What's going to be like? So for me, it's definitely more immersive. We're not just sitting down and me just spewing information. We're going room to room and talking about it. And then at the hotel, especially for corporate events, you know, corporate events are wildly different from one to another. So that one is a lot more custom. Hey, what do you need for your group, for your company, for your community organization, for your nonprofit? So for those types of events, it's a lot more, hey, let's sit down, let's figure this out together. What can we help you out with? Whereas weddings are a lot more, let's show you the experience. Let's show you what we can bring to the table. So it's a little bit different, but both are very relational. Both I love tour. You know, I try to schedule tours at the same time so I can go to the different venues and do things. And it's just some of my favorite days when I see I have a day full of tours. I absolutely love it.
Well, it's always really a privilege to be in our venues as staff members because we don't get to go and experience the moments with these brides. And so sometimes when we call a staff meeting or we're going out there for something special, it's like, wow, this is really a privilege to be here today because they're so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Talk to me, Mark, a little bit about what some people don't know, that we have a pavilion-style building behind Bella Rose Mansion. That is a spectacular place for events, and I don't think people really realize how great that building is.
It's beautiful, and I think it gets hidden behind Rosedale Manor, and so I don't think when you get there, people realize even what is behind it, just like you said. And that building it's big. It's a lot bigger than what people think it is, especially from the outside. So when you walk in, I mean, you're talking 30-foot ceilings that are hardwood. You know, the white walls and then the solid wood walls up towards the front.
The
big
fireplace.
chandelier, the white Texas rock fireplace.
We actually brought that Texas rock in from Texas. We had our guy go out and bring it all back because I was specific. This was going to be used for a wedding venue mainly but not always. But I wanted that white rock, and it was hard to find around here. And so we sent them to Texas.
Well, now everyone does it, right?
Yes.
But we were the first, definitely. And it's such a great backdrop, whether it's a wedding or it's a corporate event in there. We do a lot of corporate events at Bella, a lot more than I ever thought we would, because it is spectacular. In the winter months,
too, that fireplace running.
Fireplace going.
We can either do gas logs or we can build you a fire.
Yeah.
And there, I remember recently attending a wedding over there, and all the greenery right there at Christmas time, and that fireplace pumping it out. There was nothing so beautiful.
Yeah, some of my favorite weddings that we've done have been at Bella. Just because it just has so much opportunity for you to do those things. It's got the string lights across the top that you can attach things to.
It transforms at night.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Christopher, let's talk about that. We have the only treehouse by Nelson Treehouse Masters in Lynchburg, Virginia. But dare say it's on the East Coast as well. I don't know for sure, but I don't know that he's come over this way and built many. And what an experience that was. And it's right there at Bella Rose.
You're right. I have no idea where other tree houses are, but
it's been made by him. Yeah,
on the East Coast. But we do have our very own right here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Pete Nelson, Treehouse Masters, like you said, came out themselves. It was quite something to behold. That I've never seen a structure go up so fast. Just like on the TV show, it did actually go up in 31 days.
And you can find that on Nelson Treehouse, on Animal Planet, the Treehouse Masters. You can look up the Jeffersonian treehouse that was built right here in Lynchburg, Virginia, which is again in the city, so more taxes coming their way. Hallelujah.
But it was really cool. I mean, we went through the process, and you were on casting calls with Animal Planet, and it took us. It was almost a 3-year project to even get a call back from Animal Planet, which we're surprised we even did.
But we made it.
A really awesome God moment there. Shout out to my brother Chandler, who it was kind of his idea. But it is a beautiful, a tremendous spot for.
And it stays booked all the time. It's actually on Airbnb as well. It took me a long time to agree to do that, but now we're keeping that little space. Everybody loves the experience, and anybody that knows anything about the Treehouse Masters, it truly is a piece of art. Pete was here himself with us, with our family, for 32 days, and that whole crew. And what an experience, something we will never forget as a family. But how lucky is Lynchburg to have something so spectacular? Rosedale Mansion was really falling down when we went to rescue that piece of property, and what it was then and what it is today. I know we hear it all over town that, thank you for doing that, for that historic property, but we don't take for granted its beauty, and we love that people are enjoying it. We encourage all of you to reach out at www.entwinedevents.com. All the information that you have to schedule any of these great places is on that, and then Spencer will get you a tour made quickly.
Yep.
He answers the phone very quickly too.
That's one thing I'll say about Spencer. In an instant, he'll respond to an email, a phone call at any time. So thank you for your hard work there. And
Absolutely.
That's a testament to our clients too, also getting them answers, because I think that's a big deal when clients need an event, right? Because they're busy, they're working their own jobs, they're not really, like you mentioned, thinking about it. But when they need help, they need it fast.
Yeah, and I want to change the view too that we're just a high end. You can take a budget, Spencer, and you're trained, Mark, you are as well, to be able to show a client how they can achieve being in one of our spaces and maybe eliminating some of the things that they originally walked in there in their mind, but still be able to be in the space. And so we will work with the budget that's able to be worked with, and we'll show you how, some of the tricks of the trade on how to be in the space you want to be in. And I also want to say that some of the reasons why we're all inclusive It's not to keep other businesses out of coming in and partaking in the
Correct.
wedding industry. It's more or less controlling the experience in which our clients have. Because if a caterer is having an off day, but they put that food in our space, inevitably we're going to be the ones that are held responsible for it. Now, I feel like we do a really good job and meet most of the demands on a regular basis. So that's one of the reasons why we make everything all exclusive. Same thing for flowers.
Right.
We love all the local florists, and I order from local florists because our floral company is a closed company that only caters to
Our
Runkin'
brides
Pratt
and
or the brides or special events. And so, but we love all the local florists and call on them if we need to. But we want to control that experience, Mark, for our clients.
And not just the experience, like you already touched on, the quality. Just like you said, we were getting reviews back in those early days about, we loved the space, but the food was terrible. Well, X catering group did that, not West Manor. So, we made the decision back then to move to the all-inclusive model. I think it's one of the best things we did. In fact, a lot of venues follow suit now, and that's kind of industry standard now.
And we set that.
And we did.
I took a lot of flack for that back in the day, but I'm so glad that we were able to control what our customers get, which is all about good service.
Yeah, and the quality.
And it's a huge selling point now. I mean, when I get people reaching out to me, one of the things that instantly sets us apart is not only that it's an all-inclusive turnkey experience, but it's all provided in-house. There are other venues, there are other areas all around Virginia and the states that provide all-inclusive packages, but this vendor, they're still using an outside subcontractor.
Right.
They're using this. So even though it's all-inclusive, it's still not an experience that they're controlling and are able to work with, where that's something that is very unique to us. That is a huge selling point when I'm talking to brides and companies.
Well,
and if something goes wrong, we take responsibility for it and make it right with the bride right then.
Absolutely.
I'm always involved in that.
And being inclusive was huge, especially during the pandemic, because for those brides, when we had restrictions come down and that sort of thing, instead of you having to then call your venue, reset your date for whenever
Maybe
150,
lose money,
maybe
too.
lose money
Yeah.
or lose it completely, instead of having to do all that and then coordinate with your caterer and then coordinate with your florist and your photographer, you called one place. We picked your event up, moved it to the next day, and then you just had to coordinate with your photographer. So that was huge back then, which, moving forward, those are the things that brides and grooms and everybody think about when
Makes
they
a big
book that.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're here to serve the community, Christopher, and we've loved talking about all of our venues. And, just check us out, because you may think it won't work, but you never know until you tour with these two guys and
That's right.
see what we can do to help you out.
So if you have any event needs or room stays or whatever, check us out at entwinedevents.com, Bella Vista Hotel. We each all have social media pages. All the individual venues have social media pages. You can check out all the beautiful photos and get some inspiration
Yeah.
from
There's great
there.
inspiration on those.
So kind of see what we've done in this space before, what you like, bring back to the planning team, and we can recreate or put your spin on it.
I do believe Entwined Events is going on either 12 or 13 years old. So there's that much photo opportunity for you to look at. And each venue has its own personality, and our planners know how to direct you to the right look.
Yeah, we love seeing our own photos come back to us as a couple's inspiration photos. That's great.
It means you did a good job.
That's right.
Well, Mark and Spencer, we appreciate you being here today. Thank you for joining us on the show. It's been a wonderful talk. We appreciate you both as staff members as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Mom, as always, I know you like to end each show with a quote, and I know you got a great one in store for us today. So I'll let you end the show with one of your quotes.
Well, folks, we've all been talking about ways to celebrate. And I believe that we should always celebrate as much as we can, because life is short. And it doesn't mean we always have to throw a big party. That's not what we are referring to today. I want to encourage you to celebrate yourself, your accomplishment, and life in general. So here we go. Life is meant to be a celebration. It shouldn't be necessary to set aside special times to remind us of this fact. Wise is the person who finds a reason to make every day a special day. So I want to encourage you all to do that today. If you need us at Entwined Events, we're right here. And until next week, I'm Vickie, and we're all right here around the table. See you soon.